Whoa, Broncos country, hold your horses because things are heating up here in Denver. You won't believe what just went down with our backfield? Sean Payton just made a decision that's going to shake up everything we knew about our running game in 2025. And look, this decision wasn't easy, but it might be exactly what we needed to soar high this season. Folks, before I tell you everything that happened, tell me in the comments, do you trust Payton's decisions when it comes to running backs? Because what happened this week is going to make you rethink everything about how our offense is going to function. And believe me, it's not just about who got cut. It's about what this means for the future of the franchise. Let's get straight to the point because this bombshell can't wait. Last week, Sean Payton and the Broncos front office made a decision that shook the foundations of Mile High Stadium. They cut 2 running backs that a lot of people thought had secured their spot on the 53-man roster. I'm talking about Estime and Blake Watson. That's right, family. 2 guys who had been closely watched throughout the entire preseason simply didn't survive the final cut. But hold on, because the situation is more complicated than it seems. Blake Watson wasn't just cut for technical or tactical reasons. The guy suffered a left knee injury during Saturday's game against the New Orleans Saints, and that injury completely complicated his plans to secure a spot on the main team. Watson will receive an injury settlement deal, which means he can come back when he's recovered, but for now, he's out of the immediate plans. Now Estime, that's a different case. The guy had been showing potential during OTA practices back at Broncos Park, but when crunch time came, when Sean Payton had to define who really deserved to be on the team that's going to battle for a title, Estime couldn't completely convince the coaching staff. And look, this isn't personal against the player. It's pure business. It's the cruel reality of the NFL, where only the best survive. Now comes the question that everyone in Broncos country is asking. How does our backfield look after these changes? Well, family, get ready, because our running game is now in the hands of 4 warriors who are going to carry the responsibility of making our offense take off. First, we have R.J. Harvey, a guy who's been gaining more and more confidence from the coaching staff. Harvey has shown impressive versatility, being able to function both as a primary running back and in special third-down situations. The guy has sure hands for receptions coming from the backfield and field vision that's impressive for someone still relatively new to Payton's offensive system. Second, we have J.K. Dobbins, and this here is a name that should make any NFL defense lose sleep. Dobbins arrived in Denver with impressive baggage and a hunger to show he still has a lot of football left to play. The guy has a combination of speed and power that can break any defense when he's having his best day. Sean Payton knows how to use running backs with this profile, and you can bet Dobbins is going to be a fundamental piece in our attack. The third name is Jaleel McLaughlin, and here we have one of the biggest positive surprises of our franchise in recent years. McLaughlin arrived as a guy nobody expected much from, but he earned his space through sweat and dedication. The player has absurd agility and an ability to find small spaces that impresses even the most experienced veterans. When McLaughlin takes the field, you know something special can happen at any moment. And last but not least, we have Tyler Beatty. This name should sound familiar to those who follow the team closely because Beatty went through some pretty complicated moments last season. The guy suffered a back injury that scared everyone, was carried off the field on a stretcher in a situation that had all of Broncos country worried. But Beatty showed impressive resilience, recovered completely, and now he's back to show he deserves to be on this roster. Sean Payton isn't known for making hasty decisions when it comes to building his roster. The guy studied each of these running backs for months, analyzed how each one fits into the offensive system he wants to implement, and came to the conclusion that these 4 players offer the best set of skills for what he intends to do on the field. But look here, family, these backfield changes don't happen in a vacuum. They're part of a much larger strategy that Sean Payton is building to make the Broncos a fearsome offensive force in the AFC West. The guy wants a balanced attack where the running game perfectly complements what Bo Nix is going to do in the passing game, creating a synergy that can take us far in the playoffs. The decision to keep 4 running backs on the main roster also shows that Payton understands the importance of having options. In the modern NFL, you can't depend on just 1 or 2 players in positions as physical as running back. Injuries happen, unforeseen situations arise, and having depth in the backfield can be the difference between a successful season and a frustrating season. Additionally, each of the 4 running backs who stayed brings something different to the table. R.J. Harvey offers versatility and reliability. J.K. Dobbins brings explosiveness and experience. Jaleel McLaughlin adds agility and the ability to create plays out of nowhere. Tyler Beatty contributes with determination and a desire to prove he's completely overcome his injury problems. Now, about Audric Estime and Blake Watson, don't think these doors are closed forever. Both could end up on the practice squad if they clear waivers, which means they would continue developing their skills within the Broncos system just without taking up a spot on the active roster. Watson specifically has an interesting situation because of the injury, but when he's recovered, he might have a new opportunity. What does all this mean for us, passionate fans of the Denver Broncos? It means Sean Payton is building a team to truly compete, not just participate. Every decision he makes has a bigger purpose, a long-term vision of where he wants to take this franchise. And look, family, I'm going to be completely honest with you. These difficult decisions in the backfield show that we're dealing with a coach who isn't afraid to make the complicated choices when necessary. Payton could have kept Estime and Watson for safety, but he preferred to bet on the 4 players he really believes can make a difference when the game is on the line. This reminds me a lot of the mentality that great coaches have when they're building championship teams. It's not about keeping everyone happy or avoiding controversies. It's about identifying exactly what you need to win important games and having the courage to make the necessary changes, even if it means releasing talented players. You must be wondering how this new backfield configuration is going to work in practice, and that's a fascinating question. With 4 different running backs, Payton has flexibility to create specific offensive packages for each game situation. He can use R.J. Harvey in third and long situations where he needs someone reliable for a safe reception. He can put in J.K. Dobbins when he wants to break a long run. That completely changes the momentum of the game. Jaleel McLaughlin can come in when Payton wants to confuse the opposing defense with creative plays and unexpected rhythm changes. And Tyler Beatty can be used as a trump card, a player who has something to prove and can explode at any moment when he gets his opportunity. This diversity of options will also help keep all players fresh throughout the season. Running back is an extremely physical position, and having 4 competent guys means none of them will be overloaded with too many carries, reducing injury risk and keeping everyone at a high level throughout the entire campaign. But I'll tell you something, Broncos country. These backfield changes are just the beginning. Sean Payton is clearly implementing an offensive philosophy that goes way beyond simply running the ball. He wants an attack that's unpredictable, that keeps opposing defenses always guessing what's coming next. With Bo Nix commanding the attack and this diversified backfield providing support, we have all the necessary tools to create serious problems for any NFL defense. And don't forget that all this connects with our group of wide receivers and tight ends, creating a complete attack that can strike in several different ways. Now, let me ask you a question. How do you think fans of other AFC West teams are reacting to these changes? Because I guarantee that Kansas City, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles Chargers are paying close attention to what we're building here in Denver. They know that a Sean Payton with offensive tools in his hands is a recipe for trouble for everyone. If you're true Broncos country, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important plays from this season that promises to be special. What impresses me most about this whole situation is the confidence that Sean Payton demonstrates in his decisions. The guy isn't trying to please everyone or make popular decisions. He's focused exclusively on putting together the best possible team to compete for the AFC West title, and who knows, something much bigger than that. And I'll say one more thing. This new backfield configuration might be exactly the kind of surprise we needed. Sometimes, when you change things unexpectedly, you catch everyone off guard, including the teams that are going to face you during the season. Our opponents were probably preparing to face a different backfield, and now they're going to have to completely recalibrate their defensive strategies. R.J. Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Tyler Beatty form a quartet that has everything it takes to surprise a lot of good people this season. Each of them comes from a different journey to get here. Each has their own motivations and reasons for wanting to prove their worth. Harvey wants to establish himself as a reliable running back in the NFL. Dobbins wants to show he still has a lot of football left to play after some complicated years due to injuries. McLaughlin wants to keep proving that size doesn't matter when you have heart and determination. And Beatty wants to completely leave behind that scary injury and focus only on helping the team win. This mixture of different personalities and playing styles might be exactly what our offense needed to take the next step. Sean Payton is a master at finding creative ways to use each player's specific talents, and with these 4 different options in the backfield, he has a pretty rich color palette to paint his offensive masterpiece. One thing you can be sure of, family, is that these 4 remaining running backs aren't going to give anyone an easy time. They know they earned their spots after intense competition, and they know they're going to need to keep proving their worth at every practice, every game, every opportunity they receive. This creates a very healthy internal dynamic where everyone is always motivated to give their best. There's no room for complacency or relaxation because each one knows the other 3 are there ready to take advantage of any slip-up. From a tactical standpoint, Sean Payton now has options for any game situation that might arise. Need someone to protect Bo Nix in a blitz situation? Got a guy for that? Want to break a long run to change the game? Got a player with that profile? Need someone for a safe reception on an important 3rd down? Got someone who can do that too. This tactical flexibility is something that can make all the difference when the decisive moments of the season arrive. In the playoffs, when every possession counts, having several reliable options in the backfield can be the difference between advancing to the next phase or going home early. And we can't forget that all this happens in a larger context of franchise. Renewal. The Broncos are clearly in a process of building something special, with Bo Nix taking command of the attack, a defense that continues to be one of the best in the league, and now a revamped backfield that can add a new dimension to our offensive game. Every change Sean Payton makes has a clear purpose within this larger vision. He's not just reacting to immediate situations, he's building something sustainable that can compete at a high level for several years. And that, family, is exactly the kind of leadership and strategic vision that we, as Broncos country, wanted to see in our franchise. After years of uncertainty and constant changes, we finally have someone in command who knows exactly where he wants to go and has a clear plan to get there. The decisions about Audric Estime and Blake Watson might seem difficult now, but when we look back at the end of the season, we'll probably understand they were necessary steps in building something much bigger. Football is a cruel sport sometimes, where individual talents aren't always enough if they don't fit perfectly with what the team needs at that specific moment. This doesn't diminish the value of Estime or Watson as players. It just shows that sometimes the timing isn't right or the fit isn't perfect. But for R.J. Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Tyler Beatty, this is the perfect moment. They secured their spots on one of the most traditional teams in the NFL under the command of one of the most respected coaches in the league. In a season that promises to be special for Broncos country, the responsibility is now on their shoulders. Each one will have to prove that Sean Payton made the right choices, that this revamped backfield can be a powerful weapon in the Broncos' offensive arsenal. And you can be sure of one thing. These 4 players are completely aware of this responsibility. They know they represent not just themselves, but also the hopes and dreams of all of Broncos country to see our team return to the playoffs and compete for the title. That's why, family, I have a really good feeling about this upcoming season. The pieces are falling into place, the difficult decisions are being made, and everything indicates we're heading in the right direction. Of course, we still have a lot of work ahead. The regular season is long and full of challenges, and the AFC West continues to be one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. But with the tools we have now, including this renewed backfield, we have plenty of reasons to be optimistic. And what about you, Denver Broncos family? What do you think about these changes in our backfield? Do you trust Sean Payton's choices? Do you think R.J. Harvey, J.K. Dobbins, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Tyler Beatty can form one of the best running back groups in the league? Comment down below. Hit that. Like if you're excited to see these guys in action. Share it with other members of Broncos country. And don't forget to hit the bell to not miss any news about our beloved team. Till the next video. And may this season come soon so we can see our Broncos flying high once again. Go Broncos.